Thomas Young from Kingdom MMA, and I'm joined here with Dean Amasinger. Dean, it's been 3 years since we've last seen you fight. Tell us why you've decided to return to MMA after such a long time away from the sport.
It was always kind of in the plan that I knew I was going to come back. I felt like there was a bit of unfinished business, and I've pretty much that whole time been training. I've obviously not training in the same sort of intensity that you would be to get ready for a fight, but I've been coaching guys and getting guys ready. Been a training partner for the guys that I'm coaching, and I've still got it's still been going well. And then Nico Shipshag had kind of decided to make a comeback, and I'm helping him with that. I'm helping him with coaching, working on a few things, and he. We were rough house training partners together. We always had a high level of intensity of training together, and he just sort of got that fire in my belly again. I had to step up my game to come back training with him because he's at a different level, and we really just sort of bounce off each other. And I just felt now's the right time to do it, and it's kind of perfect that we're doing it together. And he's fighting on the same card.
So now you're back at fighting at Macto Championships, debut show. With such pedigree, fighting on shows such as BAMA, KSW. Why Macto?
They look like they're doing things the proper way. They're looking after fighters. I have a relationship with the promoters already as it is, and they sort of in the initial conversations they were just saying all the right things about how things are going to be run. I'm all about that, and I think there's a level of professionalism that needs to be brought into the sport that maybe not all promotions are doing, and they're kind of saying they're going to be doing that, and I believe them. I think it's going to be a great show, and so far they've been keeping to their word, and it's shaping up to be an amazing show.
Since taking a break from fighting, you've developed a pretty respected career as a coach, working with likes of Norman Park and new BAMA champion Ed Arthur.
Yeah.
Are you back as a fighter now full time? And what are your ambitions for your career as a fighter?
No, definitely coaching's my priority. I'm a performance coach working in other sports, and then also mixed martial arts coach, and that will definitely be my priority. So any decisions being made, obviously I'm making some accommodations leading up to this fight, and there's some, timing wise it's worked out well, me being on Macto as well. I haven't got any big fights coming up before that, except actually I'm working with Mike Wilkinson the week before, but it kind of worked out well anyway, and I've got guys over there to be training, but yeah, definitely coaching is my priority, and if I have to make a choice between the two, it's going to be coaching. And it's just, like I said, I've got that fire in my belly to train again. I want to be doing it. I'm a better fighter than I've ever been, so that's the plan.
You're back fighting Dan Vinny.
Yeah.
Before we get into this fight, there was a bit of back and forth with you and Leroy Barnes before your fight was announced. Can you tell us what that was about, and what do you think as Barnes as a future opponent?
I mean, absolutely nothing personal with Leroy. When you see each other, we're cool, and it was nothing personal at all. I was having a discussion with the promoter. A few names were banding about. The name came up. I was like, yeah, of course, I'll definitely fight him. It was someone that I was potentially going to fight when I was fighting before, and it didn't really happen. I wasn't really up for it then, and now it kind of seemed right. I've had a long layoff. I've had my last 2 fights are actually losses. He's had a couple of losses, but we both names within British MMA, and I thought like it was a fight that made sense. He didn't want the fight because he trains with Rough House, but like I said, as far as I can tell, when I was there, he wasn't there, so it wasn't a problem for me. It's not like we've trained together. I think maybe we've trained together once, and that was like an impact thing. It wasn't like we just sparred or anything. So I felt completely comfortable fighting with him. He did it, and that was the end of it. He didn't want it. That's fine. End of.
Let's talk about your opponent, Dan Vinny, now. He used to fight under the name of Dan Edwards. Talk to us about Dan and what he brings to the table.
He's a veteran of the sport. Fought internationally, fought some good opponents, fought some high-level opponents. Obviously got a bit of a mixed record, but all respect to him, looks like he's got some good wins, good off his back, good jiu-jitsu, good technical Thai boxing. But I mean, realistically, from watching him, I just feel like I'm better everywhere, stronger, the better athlete, more technical everywhere, and I'm struggling to see a way that he can win the fight.
Macto Championships is a new promotion, which will be looking to crown champion soon. With a win over Vinny, do you see yourself in a title fight, maybe? Definitely.
I'm taking one fight at a time. This is the fight I'm focusing on now, but I'm feeling incredibly confident right now. And one of the things, when I was fighting before, I had the skills. I've always had the athleticism, but maybe before I just didn't have quite the self-belief for whatever reason, but now I'm just so confident in my skills, confident in my abilities. I'm enjoying it, which is the main thing. You've got to be enjoying it, and I'm loving it. And I feel like that confidence can take me as far as I want to go with it. So, like I said, taking every fight as it comes. But if Macto are happy with my performance and that's not something they would want to do, absolutely, I'd fight for a title.
Before we let you go, Dean, let's talk about coaching Ed Arthur. What's next for Arthur? And when can we see the champ back in the cage defending his title?
Yeah, Ed, we're looking at him fighting September, October in Bama. There's talks of maybe an island show. We don't know, but that's the type of timescale we're looking at. And there's a few guys sort of fighting in June that are relative contenders in the bantamweight division. But Ed's the type of guy he'll literally fight anyone put in front of him. He's just getting better and better and better each fight. I think you can see that his level is getting up. He's technically getting better. He's getting physically stronger. We're introducing he's training full time now. You know, he's achieved all he's achieved of his first few fights of what I would consider barely training, and then for the past sort of year, 2 years, he's stepped it up and training, you know, a lot more smarter. But now, since his last fight and the exposure he's got from that win, he's able to train full time, and you're going to see another trajectory up, and he's just going to be exponentially better, and you're going to see a different Ed Arthur next time he fights.
Well, we thank you very much for your time, and we look forward to seeing you fight June the 27th, Macto.